Yep.
I'm never gonna, publish this because I say stupid stuff all the time. But I just want to talk about what you guys have been up to and kind of what's going on. You've got all sorts of stuff that came out of your earnings report. So if it's cool with you, I'm just going to jump right in.
For sure. That'd be great.
Awesome. All right. So you've been busy.
Yes.
What are the highlights of 2021 thus far?
Listen, I think, for us, 2021 has been a great year, right? It's, we're coming out of COVID. We're seeing our users get back to where we want. We're seeing our engagement get back to where we want, up significantly year over year. We're making tremendous progress on our tech stack, where, it's been our vision from the outset to bring our tech stack in house, and we've been gradually building it and bringing on pieces over the course of the last 2 years, culminating with, sort of what we announced, where we're going to have, the full, migration to our PAM and promo engine, in August. So, all of it is just, kind of executing to plan from our perspective and, looking ahead, excited over the next year or so. We've told the market that we're going to double our state footprint. And then, of course, thinking about Ontario, and, probably one of the biggest highlights of the year is seeing, C218 get over the line, to legalize single event sports betting in Canada, which is an absolute, tremendous, event. It's our Canada's version of our PASPA moment. And, with Ontario very well advanced with their own process for, modernizing iGaming, which, they were on the track to do, and it was going to be iGaming and sports to the greatest extent permitted by law. And now that's going to be a reality. So Ontario has announced they're going to be on track to open their market, with iGaming and now single event sports betting, with their target launch date of December. So, right in our backyard, we couldn't be more excited about that.
So not much going on.
Not much at all. Not much at all. It's, kind of sleepy time here.
Yeah, right. So you also posted some pretty strong results for Q3 in your fiscal year. What contributed to that? Oh, hey, Dan.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Sorry.
Good. No.
Listen, I think it's a continuation of what we were talking about. It's, focusing on our integrated approach to media and sports betting, continuing to drive that engagement on the media side, and our overall philosophy of bringing the bet as close as possible to the customer with the unique integrations we have in our media and our betting business, focusing on our technology, and that really it's kind of steady as she goes for us from that perspective. We're really happy with how things are coming along, across all aspects, from product, technology, marketing. And from a media business perspective on a standalone basis, it was our best quarter, our best third quarter ever from a media revenue perspective. So to see, and it's been a very good year for us from a media revenue perspective in general. So to see that snap back, kind of post COVID has been very, exciting and encouraging to us.
Great. How does bringing your PAM system and your promo engine and all your other tech in-house, how does that change the game for you, and what does it mean for theScore's future?
Yeah, so it's a good question, because a lot of people, Cole, when they're talking about bringing tech in-house, immediately they jump to, well, of course, that helps you achieve industry-leading margins. And that is, look, there is clearly a financial element too, but for us, it really starts with the product. Having your own PAM and having your own promo engine, and then ultimately, we've talked about over the course of the next year bringing risk and trading in-house, allows you to really innovate from a product perspective in terms of, the offering you're able to put forward to users. And it's particularly important for us when we're offering this integrated media and betting business. This isn't just a standalone betting platform. This is a platform that's designed to work seamlessly with our media platform as users move back and forth between the two. So you need a tech stack that's robust, that's flexible, that can take inputs from the media side and the betting side and be used to create, really a unique consumer-facing experience that just would not be possible with an off-the-shelf technology solution, or quite frankly, a proprietary technology solution that was acquired and not really, built for purpose.
Right. And will having it in-house help you launch in new markets at a faster clip?
Certainly, that is also, one of the benefits. We've done a lot of the process over the past year and a half has been bringing in, those elements and a lot of the in-state infrastructure which already exist in-house, which help speed our time to market. And as we control more elements of the stack, that will improve, that will, kind of shrink that timeline even further.
And as a result of a number of things, I suppose, the combination of this announcement of bringing some tech in-house, your IPO, Canada, are you guys seeing an uptick in opportunities and or prospective partnerships as a result of all these things?
I wouldn't relate it necessarily to those two things specifically. I think we have a pretty robust pipeline, kind of separate and apart from, specific announcements around financing and technology. I think, when we have conversations with partners, it's not those specific events which are relevant. More so, it's our overall approach and the fact that we're differentiated and this integrated media and betting approach, which helps set us apart, bolstered by owning your own tech stack. And of course, the having the resources that come with our IPO. Obviously, those are beneficial when you're having those discussions. But, fundamentally, it comes down to that differentiated approach to offering sports betting, which is underpinned by our technology. And that's the technology story isn't a new one. It's been consistent since when we launched. We didn't wake up last quarter and say, hey, you know what? It would be great to own, our own PAM and promo engine. This was a 2018, this was our decision in 2018. And it was really born out of the fact that as a media business, we have to own our own technology. Like, it to us is, you can't be in this business and not own the key elements of your technology stack that are going to allow you to serve your users and differentiate. And we learned that lesson very early in the media business, in the TV business in 2005. We thought, it'd be great to build some mobile apps, and we built apps for flip phones. We didn't have mobile developers at the time, and we outsourced it. And we saw immediately the pain points when you're dealing with a B2B vendor or a third-party supplier. And as the world opened up and as we started to build for iPhone and Android, we knew this was a competency we had to have in-house. When we expanded our made-for-mobile editorial in 2012, 2013, there was no, content management system that you could buy off the shelf. We had to build our own. So this, the notion of owning our own technology and seeing the benefits that drives for your business is something that's been ingrained in us. And the only reason we didn't do it from the jump is because we wanted to launch quickly. And, our CTO said, look, guys, this is not, this is a big undertaking. It's going to take 2 to 3 years to do properly. We want to launch. So we did a great deal with BetWorks. Worked very well for us and very well for them. And it was a modular deal that as we built more and more in-house, we were able to take more and more, our footprint would increase and their footprint would decrease. And it's worked out very, very well.
Excellent. And you've touched on the media side a few times. This is a little off book, but just out of curiosity, having this, healthy stable of media content and this huge platform, super influential, does it make you feel like you guys have a bit of a head start once you start seeing all these other books, partnering up with media folks and tying these things together?
It's building an engaged audience is hard.
Right.
It takes years of commitment. It doesn't happen overnight. And I think when and it takes a real user-centric approach, which is what has allowed us to carve out this media business. If you were interviewing me 10 years ago, you would have said, or 15 years ago, you said, how are you going to compete against an ESPN or a Yahoo or a CBS? And it's by differentiating your product. It's by being user-centric. And having a singularity of purpose. And we've done an amazing job at doing that. And it's more than just, sponsorship deals and cobbling together collections of disparate media assets. You actually, and also, our view is that the media engagement, ought to take place where consumers are engaging around it. Don't try and, the toughest thing in the world is to create a new engagement experience, to try and teach a user to go somewhere else to get content that's outside of their, kind of established pattern, which is why our view is you bring the bet as close as possible to where the user is engaging around sports, not the other way. don't try and create a sports engagement experience on a betting platform, right? That the user wants to go transact and get back to whatever they were doing, whether it's watching, whether it's watching the game on TV, whether it's being at the game, whether it's being at the bar, whether it's following it on their mobile app. Let them do what they're going to do and make it easy for them. And that's our whole philosophy here. And it's not a surprise to us at all that people are paying tremendous amounts of money, and cash and equity to try and target, a media-centric audience and to access that audience. It's not a shock at all. That's why we, got into the betting business in the first place. We would not have been in the betting business but for the strength of our media platform.
Excellent. Shifting gears slightly, you've got Patrick J coming on the team in September. Yeah. Can you tell me about him? What role is he going to play in the growth of the company?
Yeah, listen, Patrick is phenomenal. And it kind of, as we talked about in our quarter, the last piece for us is bringing risk and trading in house. And so for us to do that, we need a world-class leader. Patrick J fits the bill perfectly. He's going to come in. He's starting in September. He's going to assist as we finalize the build out of the risk and trading platform and also be responsible for building the risk and trading team. And at that point, we're going to have a fully integrated PAM, promo engine, risk and trading engine. So in our view, that allows us to even further differentiate what we're able to do with all of these systems in-house, talking to one another, thinking about how we create experiences across media and betting, on a very, very deeply personalized level. We couldn't be more thrilled that he's joining, can't wait to get going.
Awesome. Once you have in-house risk and trading, what is the difference that I will see as a sports bettor who uses the score bet?
Listen, I think it will manifest itself in our market offering. It'll manifest ourselves. And as I was talking about before, in terms of the things we're able to do, for users who are users of both our media and our betting platform and the type of personalized offerings that we can make available across the spectrum. Could be promotion, could be custom markets that we're able to offer you to bet on. That's the magic of owning your own infrastructure and having those resources in house is that's now totally in our control. Whatever we can dream up for our users, we can create. We don't have to rely on third parties to be able to do it.
Excellent. And shifting gears one last time to talk about Canada overall, obviously.
Yeah.
How are you guys preparing for the provincial markets? I know you're excited for Ontario. We'll have an overview of that and, any other provinces, kind of the progress there.
Yeah, no, listen, starting with the second piece first, like in the U.S., it's going to be jurisdiction by jurisdiction. Ontario is certainly the furthest along from a framework and regulatory perspective. Final regs are going to be coming out before the end of the summer. Applications are going to be coming in the fall. And the market's going to be open in December. Other provinces are starting to focus more intently. And they may take different approaches, just like different states take different approaches in the U.S. So I think from that perspective, and they're all, I think, intently looking to see, what the Ontario experience is. So as that rolls out, we're ready, and able to play, across the country as those markets open. I think, what gets us most excited about Canada, in addition to our user base, which is tremendous, we have a brand legacy here. We were a sports network for 25 years. The kids who were 8 years old falling asleep with the glow of the score on their screen are now 25 years old, 30 years old, rabid sports fans using our app and ready to, and quite frankly, in a lot of cases, betting on sports and, ready to come, and engage with the score bet platform when we launch later this year. And so we couldn't be more excited by the opportunity and think we're very, very well positioned, with the combination of our brand, our users, our platform to do very well in this market.
Great. By virtue of just being in the industry, it seems to me like the Score is a clear front runner, if not the clear front runner in Canada, at least poised for success. Along those lines, do you have anybody in particular you view as your biggest competition?
Listen, I think Ontario is going to be the biggest online gaming market in North America. When you think about by population, it's the fifth largest jurisdiction behind, California, Texas, Florida, New York. And it is going to have, across those guys, the most progressive, open, online gaming with iGaming and sports betting, regulatory framework in North America. So yes, it's going to be competitive. The offshore guys are going to be coming in. The big boys from the U.S. are going to be coming, but there's no place I'd rather fight them than on my home turf, and we think we're very well positioned, in this market to succeed.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned those 4 markets that aren't even legal yet and are all struggling hardcore to actually get rules and regulations in place.
Correct. I mean, when you see how those markets have unfolded, and then you look at what Ontario has done, my God, what a contrast. I mean, Ontario has, they've taken, it's not been a fast process. They've been at this since the spring of 2019, but they took the time, they invested, and they got it right. And I think what you're going to see on the other side of this thing is a very, very robust and healthy, online gaming marketplace that's great for players, offers world-class market offerings, underpinned by, strong, responsible gaming and player protection, all the things that you don't get when there's a gray market, thriving. And so we think that, it should serve as a model to other jurisdictions, quite frankly, not just in Canada, but in across the U.S.
Do you think, given the size of the market, there's just going to be a massive bonus and/or promotional bidding war for new users?
You know what? It's very interesting, right? And it's going to be a robust advertising market. But one of the things that actually just came out is Ontario's taking a very conservative approach with respect to promotions and inducements. You cannot advertise on third-party media platforms, promotions and inducements. So that's going to be a change from what you see in the U.S., where it's carpet bombing of television spots, or every other TV spot is bet and get and bonus cash and all these things. It's going to be a different approach and a different market, and one that, quite frankly, I think serves us very well, having an existing established brand presence and user relationships in the market. Versus elsewhere where we see people just carpet bombing inducements.
Great. And then last question, just heading south a little bit, what's next in the U.S.?
It's a little early for us to comment specifically on additional jurisdictions. I think our what we've said publicly is that over the course of the next year, we expect our footprint in the U.S. to more than double. Some of the states out publicly where we have been reported in the press, we're in with an application in Tennessee. Obviously, we're participating in the Virginia process. There's a couple other states, which are going to be direct license states that we would anticipate playing in. And then there's the other ones that are going to continue to open up from a regulatory perspective. We have our multi-state market access deal with Penn. And then as other states open up, we'll be looking to pursue market access there as well.
Perfect. Well, that about does it. We blasted through all my questions. And I think this will shape up to be an excellent story. So
fantastic.
I'm stop recording here. Yeah, thank you for taking the time, Benji. I really appreciate it.
Awesome.
I hear Dan fuzzing in the background.